Hello, and a warm welcome from wherever you're watching us from. It is another opportunity. Blessed KG is back with another important educational video. They say that love is in the air, and whoever finds it finds a good thing. Solomon himself, in the book of Proverbs 30, chapter 19, is even wondering how a man comes and falls in love with a woman. Welcome as we unveil the issues of love with my brother here. So welcome, brother. You can introduce yourself and we can move.
Thank you so much. It is such a great blessing for me to be here, and I really appreciate for the invitation, and most importantly, giving thanks to the Lord for the gift of life and also for this opportunity that we have had today. My name is Lesedi Joe. I am from Zimbabwe, and I'm currently based in South Africa, which is where I am working. Thank you.
You're welcome. So they say that love is one of the most important things, but we find that love has been misunderstood because some people get into love with different intentions. Some people go because of wealth, some people go because they truly love. But my first question is this: you, as a young man, you're not yet married, but how comes you're advising people on issues of marriage? What experience do you have? That is the question somebody can ask you. What experience do you have in marriage that is making you to share and to educate people on marriages?
Thank you. It is such a very great question, which I have often been asked that question. How come you talk about this subject when yourself, you are not wearing that shoes? So firstly, I can say God is the first inspiration. And I would love to also to say that coaches never play. You'll find that they can coach a game. They are there to tell the players what they should do. They are to run around, but them, they're outside. They can see better. So someone who is not in the situation, it is easy for that person to see. So in that aspect, I can say God has really blessed me with that. And I have often realized that marriages are a result of pain and contention, and that there is the reason why there is so much strife in the society. So as a child growing up, there are many things which I've realized that maybe they've inspired me to love to talk about families. As a child growing up without my parents being in there, as they had gone outside the country so that they can find ways how they can care for us, the children. So as they had gone there, I was at the countryside with my grandmother and also with the my cousins. So as I was there was a lot which was happening, and also looking at the fact that my cousins, they will receive their parents, they will come by, and as they will be there, they will receive wonderful gifts. But you find that you are segregated. You find yourself in a corner. There is no one who has come to give you something. And also perhaps at the time when we used to celebrate Christmas so much, and we find that the families, they gathered together, the kids, they receive clothing, and yourself, you haven't received them. And now they are always putting them on, and then they check around, they come and look and ask you like, what do you think about my dress? What do you think about my shoe? Yourself, you don't even have it. And one time I remember seeing like my cousin, they used to, they were given like bananas, and like as a child, you're seeing like these kids that are enjoying bananas, and yourself, maybe it's about a month without even tasting a banana. So it was something that was challenging, and to feel yourself out. So through that, I saw that it was going to be better if I was with my parents there with me. And also at school, I was more into sociology. I was studying sociology. So my desire was to study psychology. Unfortunately, due to some financial reasons, I did not manage to pursue that. But anyway, everything happens for a reason. I was not discouraged. And there was one time, this sister, she asked me, are you married? Or do you have children? Then I said, no, I don't have children. Then she's like, okay, but are you married? And I'm like, no, why? Don't you know that the kids are going to finish in heaven? Why? you have to get married. I always wonder how you manage to talk about this, but yourself, you are not in that situation. So I said, God is the first inspiration. And secondly, as a young man also desiring that one day and contemplating marriage, I have to be a better husband, I have to be a better father. So as I look at that, I will have to be first be prepared mentally so that I will be able to be the best to the other party. There are most cases whereby people, they expect the best, but whilst themselves, they are not the best. So you are to be prepared enough so that when you venture into it, you are ready to go for it.
Wow, that is great. That is great. Now, another thing, or another issue of great concern is that you find people getting into relationship because it is through relationship, friendship, then it ends in marriage. Now, you find somebody goes into marriage or into a relationship with some intentions, expectations. You go there and you expect this and that to be happening. And then in the long run, you find there is a disconnection. So how does this one come into existence? You love someone initially and you're ready even to submit and to give everything to this person. And then in the long run, you find that you people disconnect and the relationship ends. Is it because maybe somebody has opened too much? Because I think in a relationship, you also have to open to your partner so that you can, when you grow together, so that somebody else from outside might not come and or tell this person that, you know, this man is doing this and this. Did he ever tell you? So why do people enter into a relationship with expectation, and then in the long run you find that things are not working and then people end up disconnecting? Is it wrong to open up, or what do you think about that?
That's a very wonderful question. Thank you for that. Mostly people, they always love to watch these romantic movies. They see these things which are happening in series, and they see themselves, they dream of having that kind of life. So if you are seeing that this man is doing this for his lady, perhaps he takes her out, he does buy gifts each and every time, and you tend to admire, and the kind of pictures which people, they post even on Instagram is not the kind of life which they live. So you shouldn't be that person who would admire other people's life in which you say you want that very same kind of life, but you are also writing your own book. And the thing which also mainly affects people to end up to disconnect is, as a man, men are hunters. And as a hunter, most of the times when you have already got the prey, you tend to relax. So people, they don't cultivate. So if you are having a garden, you have to make sure that you cultivate it, you make sure that you water it each and every time, make sure that the garden is in a place where it is sunny. Sometimes it has to receive the sun, and also that the land should not be saturated. But if all that is not in there, then it will make the plants to wither and die. So also it is the same when it comes to relationships. If you don't cultivate your relationship, who is going to cultivate it for you? Because you are your own man, and if the way how you are living, the way how you interact, the way how you carry yourself, the way how you do your things as a couple, it is the very same way how you are going to behave when you are married. So these are the kind of things that people, they have to look at. And also looking at getting busy. Now, looking at this time of COVID, most of the people were at home. Some homes, they became a wrestling stage, and some homes, they managed to create their bonds to be so strong. If we can evaluate your family, did the COVID make your relationship to be strong? We don't have to only see only the negatives, but we should see the positive side of it. So now looking at people, they get too much busy because of the case of this world, and they end up falling into a ditch, and their relationships, they tend not to go in the smooth way as they thought that they will. I would love to give an example of Uriah. If we know, I believe we know the story of Uriah, Bathsheba, and David. So what happened to them is Uriah, as he was mainly focused at work, that was his duty. He was making sure that he's always there. But also at the same time, he neglected his wife. Why do I say so? We find that as David was moving around in his kingdom there, and then he saw Bathsheba bathing, and then he called her. After he called her, he summoned her that she should be there, and then he slept with her, and then she was pregnant. So what did he do? He wanted to cover up his sin. And the only way to cover his sin, he had to call for Uriah. So Uriah was called to come, and he gave him drinks, wine to drink. And then from there, he said to him, now you are to go to your house. Now looking at the example of Uriah, did he go to his house? I would love to share a slide here. So looking at Uriah, that he was too busy. We are reading from the book of 2 Samuel chapter 11, verse 8 and 9. We say that, and David said to Uriah, go down to thy house and wash thy feet. And Uriah departed out of the king's house, and there followed him a mess of meat from the king. But Uriah slept at the door of the king's house with all the servants of his lord, and went not down to his house. So this is Uriah that we are talking about, that as he was supposed to go home, he decided to go to sleep just there in front of the door. So this reminds me of an experience which I had from this brother. So as it was nice working together, and then in the evening time, he was supposed to return back to his home. And now when it's time for him to return, he used to sweat, and you find him that he's not comfortable, he's no more happy as he will be in the morning. So one brother asked him, like, what's wrong with you? Are you okay? And then he says, if you knew what is there at home, you wouldn't want me to be at home. So the challenge that he was facing there with his wife, it was making him not to be comfortable to go to his house. So now we are looking at Uriah at the same time, that he was supposed to go and attend to his wife, but he decided to stick there with David. So this is Uriah that we are talking about. So as a result, we find that there was a child who was born in there because of his negligence for him to attend to his wife. There are many interpretations, there are many ways that we can explain it. Yes, David was wrong, but at the same time, him as the husband was supposed to be there to make sure that he is there for his wife.
Wow. Oh, that is quite interesting. I love the part you're saying busy. So being busy, if you're too busy, you can't even create time for your relationship. The relationship can be shaken, and I think that one can act as a loophole whereby the enemy can enter into your relationship and destroys it. Now,
very true, very true. And also there is another one.
Okay.
We look at that your partner often punishes you with their silence. They take off somewhere for a few hours, refusing to talk to you after you fight. So these are the things which happen. You find that if you fight, you also have to look at how do we fight. And if you go to the extent whereby you fight up until you don't even want to talk to that person, then there is something wrong. When you are cool, when you feel that it's not right, then you have to either move out, get some fresh air, but come back to resolve the issue, because you cannot just leave it hanging on the cliff. You have to come and sort out the issues, because if you just leave it like that, it is going to create a separation between the two of you, because you have not solved that issue. There are some other people whereby when you have a fight with them, they will go offline, block you on WhatsApp, block you on Instagram, block you on Facebook, block you everywhere, that you can't even get hold to them. Then after some 2 weeks or a month, then they come back to say, I was hurt, I was upset, but we can start all over again. Is it going to work? So those are the kind of things that people, they have to consider, and to make sure that there should be a character development between the two. If there is nothing like that, then you should know that that is a red flag. I can say it is a red flag that you have to consider, to say, like, is this how I desire to live? Because the very way how you behave as you are a boyfriend and a girlfriend is the very same way that you behave when you are married as husband and wife. And also we are looking also at the third one, being critical and being too critical and too much of comparison. If you look at men, they are not people who love to be compared too much. Even also with women, you cannot say to a man, why can't you be like John? Haven't you seen that John, he does this and that is that for his wife? What about you? What's making you not to do this? So if you are talking like that, it will make that person not to be happy. And at the same time, that person will end up distancing himself. There is something that is called love bank. So as you look at love bank, it's something that you always deposit each and every day. But now, if you have deposited, but now you are forever removing, withdrawing. So if you have got fights and you don't resolve them, you are withdrawing from the love bank. And as a result, the love bank is going to be empty. And now when it's empty, what is going to take you through in your relationship. And you find that, let's say you're upset, you end up even slamming the doors, you are screaming at each other, feeling your blood pressure skyrocket. So these are the things which happen. So you are also have to have a way how to deal with problems, how to deal with the critics. If you have to criticize something, criticize in a way that is going to build, not to destroy. Attack the problem, not the person, because if you attack the person, then you will destroy that person. And also the other thing, for the reason, that will be being in a relationship for wrong reasons. What do we mean by that? Where there are some people who are driven by lust. So you look at the person, you admire the person, you think that this is the best person for me. While least it is not. So I would love to give an example of this man by the name Amnon. So he was a loved child by David. And as he was loved as he is, so there was a time his friend comes in and he asks him, like, are you okay? And he says that I love my sister Tamar. And he asks him, you want her? You can get her. Just ask from your father, tell him that you are sick. And you ask him that you should send Tamar to come and cook for you. And which is what Amnon did. So the friends that we have to be careful. So his friend, he advised him that he has to pretend to be sick. And he pretended to be sick. And we find that Tamar was sent to come and prepare food for him. So as he came, he says that I would love to eat from your hand. And from there, he lay with her and defiled her. So after that, we find him also saying that he should leave. He didn't even have that very same love that he had before he slept with her. So now he is already defiled. He doesn't value it so much. So now if you are in a relationship, you should do your things, or you attend to your meetings, your business, whatsoever, in the boardroom, not in the bedroom. So these are the two different things that we have to differentiate between the two. Because men, once they see the nakedness of a woman, most of the times they tend to shy away. But that time, that's when the lady wants to be more serious. So these are the things which happen. If we have to evaluate, look at, or even ask like the people who have had, I always love to spend much of my time with married people or old people. I know they've gone through a lot of things in life. So as I interact with them, there are many things which I learn from there. And also through research and reading, all that, it makes one to open up the mind to understand why are these things like this. So after Tamar was defiled, Amnon never liked her. The very same love that he hated her more than the way that he was saying that he loved her. So there is a difference between liking and loving a person. So when we're talking about love, it is a broad name. It's not just something that is very small. Love is none other than a principle. It is not a feeling. It is not driven by the feelings. So most of the people, they marry for wrong reasons, or they get into a relationship for wrong reasons, because they are saying that this is the girl that most of the guys they are following. They all want to take the very same route, because that's how it works. When you see, even if you look at the animals, you look at that maybe it is the mating season. You look at the donkeys, they are forever all following one donkey, but there are many of them who are female donkeys, but they are not following them, but they only follow this one. Then you ask yourself, why? So also, as it comes to human beings, you'll find that once a person goes to a lady and other people are seeing that there is someone who has went there, that's when they will have that interest of also going there. But they don't have good intentions by doing that. So in short, that's what I can say that makes people to not to end up wanting to give more, they end up disconnecting along the way.
Wow. Wow. And that is so much interesting. I want us to just go bit by bit. This conversation is becoming better and greater. And I think I'm also learning so many things, because I know there is something that what you've just said, that maybe there is a donkey. You've just given that analogy of a donkey and others following only one. Now, it gets to a point where a guy can decide to chase like 5 ladies at a time. He wants to be in a relationship with 5 of them. And there is a guy who once commented that out of the 5 that I'm having, at least I know there must be one that I will marry by the end of the day. So I have to evaluate all these 5 as I'm dating them for me to know who is the best one among these 5 ladies. Now, according to you, biblically or as a Christian, is that the best thing to do?
That's quite interesting. If now you are looking at, even as I gave the example of the donkeys, even if there are many of them, but there is going to be one which is going to stick around, and it wouldn't want any other donkey to come near to that donkey. So it is the same as you want to hit, like you are seeing a tree, and there are birds who are sitting on that tree, and then you want to catch those birds, but you are having one stone. As you will take your stone, you want to hit all of them, you might end up missing all of them. When we look at God creating Adam, he did not create Adam and gave him 2 Eves, but he gave him only 1 Eve. Why? It is because Eve was enough for the satisfaction of Adam. For Adam, for everything that he needed, Eve was there, was able to give unto him. So you need to appreciate the person that you have. If you see someone saying that, I would love to have 5 of them, then at the end of the day, I'm going to choose. There is nothing like that. It shows that that person, he doesn't know what he wants. He doesn't have direction. He is just that person who wants to test the waters, test that, but it doesn't work like that, because at the end of the day, you will leave these other people hate. How are you going to be happy knowing that you left someone behind crying for you? So when we look at in the time of Jacob, he was working so that he can get Rachel, but at the end, he was deceived and he was given Rachel. So we look at that the women, they are the same, but also Jacob, he was only after Rachel because he loved her more. And as he wakes up in the morning, he sees that he has been given someone who is not the very same person that he was working for, because look at that, the marriages weddings were conducted at night, and he was given that lady there. When he wakes up in the morning, it's a different story, but now he cannot take it back. And then the father says, if you want this one again, you have to wait another 7 years. So he did work, and to him, it seems to be like days, because he loved her. But now after he had her, there was too much competition amongst his wives. And looking at that, these people are sisters, but they are competing with each other. We find Leah that after she had children, she also sent the maid servant so that they can go and lay with the husband, so that she can have more children and that the husband will love her more. But even though the husband did not love her more, and God closed the womb of Rachel for a purpose, because the Leah was going to be neglected, for that was going to be super paid for him, for her. So now also looking at the children as they were growing up, they didn't even love each other. We know about Joseph that he was not loved up until they even came with a plot of even killing him. But then the other brother was like, no, let's rather sell him so that his blood cannot be on our hands. So if you look at all these experiences, this is associated with the polygamy. But when there is only one woman, there is always peace. Now also considering Abraham, for example, if we look at Abraham, he was married to Sarah. So they were happy with Sarah up until it came to a time that they wanted to have kids. And Sarah said, why can't you enter into my maidservant Hagar? And Abraham entered, and after Ishmael was born, then we look at that Sarah, she was now not valued, as she was now despised by the maidservant, because she sees that she sees herself is better, that now she knows the nakedness of the husband. Now she has slept where she was not supposed to be, and now she has already managed to give him the son that Sarah failed to do. So as a result, Sarah was despised, and at the end of the day, he was not happy, and he ended up even saying that, please take away this woman, because I don't want to see her in front of my home. So this is because of polygamy. So this is what polygamy brings. And also as a man, you cannot have many ladies. You look at that, you've got only one heart. You cannot give your heart to 10 people. How possible is that? What are you going to be left with? And also, what kind of an example are you giving? If you're a young man, what kind of an example are you giving to your fellow ones who are seeing you, either their brothers or other people who are there in the society? Because we are supposed to be there for a purpose. We are to live according to the purpose of life. We are to be exemplary ourselves. there are many people who will be looking up to you. And as they look up to you, where are you taking them to? It's either you're taking them towards eternal life or eternal death through the way how you carry yourself in public, or even with the people that you hang around with, everyone that is around you.
Wow. Thank you very much. I wish we could continue, but I know and I believe that you will still come back to share with us, because I'm learning a lot, and I know people out here are also going to be blessed with the message that you've just shared with us. And I think now, as we enter into a relationship, we need to know that in relationship, you go there for a purpose, not feelings. Feelings should not drive you into a relationship. It is a principle that should take you into that. And you also have to know the purpose. Why am I going into this relationship? In as much as somebody can go with an intention of getting something out of it, but you need to have positive intentions towards a given relationship that you want to enter into. Because we found some people also enter into relationship to test and to find out how is this person, how is this other person. So I think those are those one can also be part of the reasons as to why some relationships do not last long. So if somebody's out and you are in a relationship, you need to know why you are there. And I've also learned that it's very important not to go silent. If there is an argument, don't hide away from it. Be open, and then you share, and you have to discuss the problem with your partner so that things can move easily. Because by the time somebody is silent, things are piling up, and the enemy is now getting a loophole to enter into that relationship. It can be shaken easily, and people will just part ways. There is a I read which was saying that it's better to be in a relationship with someone who calls you and tells you that we can solve this, rather than a person who will tell you that, okay, that is your own decision. If that is your choice, fine. So I think we can borrow that, and if we have issues, let us sit down and then we share on the challenges or the problems that we see, rather than keeping them aside. My brother, I'm so much grateful, so much blessed. And what would you say as we end this discussion for today? What would you say as a parting shot?
In short, I can say, never get into a relationship for wrong reasons. Just know yourself. Why am I into this relationship? I can say, if you are in a relationship, ask yourself, if anything goes west and the lady that you are with, it happens that along the way you impregnate her, will you be happy to live with her after now you have impregnated her? Not that I'm saying that you should go and impregnate anyone, but I'm saying, if perhaps anything like that happens, will you be happy if the parents of that lady come and say, this is your woman, take care, we no longer want to have anything to do with it? Will you be happy to take that person? If you think that you will not be happy, then therefore don't even come close to that person. And also as you are getting into a relationship, you should get into a relationship with the positive mind, to know that that relationship should take you to marriage. If it's not taking you there, rather not even go close, because once you say to the person, I love you, it is a very big word, which many people tend to misuse it. It is a very big word. And once you say, I love you, that person will hold to that, saying that he or she loves me, and will always trust that you love that person. But if your actions are otherwise, or if you are not prepared mentally, then don't even think about getting married.
Wow, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I think you're going to end it here, and next time. And for the new subscribers, I'm also grateful. Let me just take this opportunity to thank you so much. And if you've not yet subscribed, please make an effort of subscribing, liking, and commenting. And if you have questions, I think I'll still invite my brother over so that we can discuss more and more and more. Because when you discuss what you have, or when you share whatever you have with somebody, you might have saved a soul. So my brother, thank you so much. And I think we're going to end it here. Until next time, bye-bye.